Hello, today I will be doing the booktube real talk tag. This tag was originally created by Books with Alyssa J, and I was tagged by Jade from Jaded Reader. So I will leave both of those links down in the description bar below. Question number 1. What's something nobody told you about booktube before you started your channel? Honestly, I don't think I knew too much going into it. I don't think I knew too much about the community. I just knew that people were talking about books. Question number 2. What is your opinion on typical booktube videos such as book hauls, wrap-ups, TBRs, etc.? I think they're fine. I don't really have anything against people making them. For me personally though, I don't really watch TBRs unless it's for a readathon, for me to get like a gist of like what kind of books I should be reading for that readathon, and it'll give me like suggestions and recommendations. I think sometimes TBRs are really good for recommendations. I don't really watch book hauls because I don't really make them. So I don't know, they just don't appeal to me. Out of the 3 examples that are given, I only really watch wrap-ups. I think it's where the majority of people do their mini reviews because they're not making the individual reviews. It's kind of like my version of recent reads. I just don't call them wrap-ups because in my head wrap-ups are supposed to be done monthly, and I don't like the structure of having to do something monthly. So I call them recent reads because I don't want people to hold me accountable to make them every single month. Question number 3. What is an assumption you had about booktube before you joined? Was it proven to be correct or not? I think one of the biggest assumptions that I had was that people were only gathering on YouTube and people were only networking and talking to each other on YouTube. I didn't realize that there was book Twitter and book Instagram and stuff like that. I still don't really know how to work book Twitter, but I've since realized how big of a role book Twitter plays in the community, and I really like that about it. I just don't know how to work book Twitter. What is something you've done that has actually helped you grow your audience? I mean, I guess if we want to use this question as more of an advice for people, not that I'm in any position to give advice, but I think one of the things that you could do, one of the most effective things that you could do to grow your channel is to just engage in the community and just make connections with people and just talk to people in the community. As I mentioned previously, book Twitter plays a really big role in where people have discussions. And the thing with this approach is that you can never really lose because you can use your engagement as networking. I hate the word networking. I hear it all the time. It sounds so disingenuous, but you can use it as a networking tool, and that can help you grow your channel. But even if it doesn't, you're still making friends, and I hope you're making friends genuinely. And so you can never really be in a bad position because you're either, you know, making your channel grow, or you're making actual good friends, or if you're lucky you get both. So yeah. What is a common mistake you see new booktubers making, or one that you've made yourself? Biggest mistakes that I've done, there are a lot, but I would say only reading the popular books, even though I knew that I probably wouldn't enjoy them because I don't enjoy fantasy, and a lot of the fantasy books get really hyped up in this community. But at the same time, I don't really want to say that because I think that helped me realize that I wasn't into fantasy and I wasn't into high fantasy, and now I only pick up certain fantasies that I know that I will enjoy, and it helped me realize the books that I enjoy and the books that I am not going to enjoy. So I don't know if I would say that that's a mistake. What are your thoughts on working with publishers and sponsorships? I know there was a lot of discussion on this a couple of years ago, and I can't remember my stance on it back then, but the way I think about it now is that if you're working with publishers, if you're getting sponsorships, that's awesome. That's good on you, man. I think the only thing I would say is that as long as the person producing the content is completely honest, it will help the audience be aware of the sponsorship and the ad, and that'll help everyone individually view things accordingly. Does that make sense? Do you think booktube is dying? Absolutely not. I don't think booktube is dying. Here's what I think is happening. It's kind of like a new book release. Let's use the example of Twilight or The Hunger Games. Both of these books took a while to gain their readership. Both of these books took a while for the hype to come up, and that's kind of what happened with this community. Is it started around, like, let's say 2012, 2013, and it only got hyped up and it only got recognized and noticed by people around 2016 and 17, I want to say. And that's kind of the same with The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games came out in like 2009, I think. I can't remember, but I recently watched a bookmarked live show and they were talking about book releases, and so this is where I'm getting the analogy from. By the way, if you don't watch the bookmarked live shows that's hosted by Haley, Hannah and Zoe, I highly recommend because they're awesome and I love their discussions. Anyway, so it's kind of like that, how booktube started and it was very small and no one really knew about it, and then it got hyped up, kind of like The Hunger Games and Twilight. A lot of people were joining booktube and there was a lot of recognition from publishers and authors, and like, you know, we were getting a lot of like marketing opportunities and stuff like that, which is great. And then you know, kind of like The Hunger Games and Twilight, they had their movies and everyone was hyped about it, everyone was talking about it, and now it's gotten to that comfortable phase where the people that love Twilight and The Hunger Games are diehards, and then the people that were only around for the hype aren't really there anymore. And that's kind of what happened with booktube, is that we started off small and then it got really big and hyped up, and you know, people were joining, and now those people that were only there, you know, between the hype and stuff are no longer around, and now the people that are involved in booktube and book Twitter and all that stuff are the people that stuck around, and it's more of a community that is more whole, I guess. Does that make sense? I don't know if that analogy made sense, but that's how I see it. So I don't think it's dying. I think it's just getting to that like comfortable stage of like, the people that want to be here are here, the people that don't want to be here are not here. And I'm not saying that it's not gonna get like hyped up again. It probably will, but at the moment it's in this like quiet, comfortable phase of like, I'm here, if you want to join, you can do that, but if you don't, it's fine. Last question, question number 8, tag your friends. So yeah, I will leave the links to those channels down in the description bar below, as well as the original creator and also Jaded Reader, who tagged me in this. Anyway, that is all from me today. I hope you're having a great day and you will see me in another video soon.